Every blackhead on your face right now was manufactured in your liver, not your pores. And the same metabolic process producing them is also building visceral fat around your organs. That is not a metaphor. It is a biochemical sequence that starts with dietary sugar, runs through your liver's fat synthesis machinery, travels through your bloodstream, and ends in your sebaceous glands, where it gets oxidized, darkens, and becomes the thing you have been trying to scrub off your nose for years. Today we are tracing that entire chain. We will get to the specific enzyme that is supposed to convert the problem fat into your skin's built-in antimicrobial shield, the one mineral deficiency that shuts that enzyme down, and the liver condition that makes every topical treatment and every supplement you try work at a fraction of its potential. Before we go further, think about every topical treatment you have ever tried for blackheads. Strips, cleansers, acids, retinoids. How many of them were aimed at your face? The problem starts somewhere else entirely. The material inside a blackhead is not dirt. It is not dead skin cells. It is sebum, a complex mixture of fats secreted by your sebaceous glands that has been exposed to oxygen at an open pore and oxidized, turning the characteristic dark color. The darkness is not contamination from outside. It is a chemical reaction happening on the way out. Sebum itself is not the problem. Your skin produces it deliberately as a natural moisturizer, antimicrobial barrier, and waterproofing system. The problem is the specific fat dominating its composition. Research published in the Journal of Investigative Dermatology in 2018, analyzing sebum profiles across over 2,000 subjects with comedonal acne, found one fat present at abnormally elevated levels in 100% of cases: palmitic acid, a 16-carbon saturated fatty acid, the most abundant saturated fat in the human body, elevated in sebum for one primary reason: the liver is producing too much of it. Palmitic acid is the end product of de novo lipogenesis, the process by which your liver converts excess dietary carbohydrates into fat. The more sugar and refined starch you consume beyond your immediate energy needs, the more palmitic acid your liver synthesizes and releases into circulation. Some reaches your adipose tissue. Some reaches your sebaceous glands. Every blackhead is a liver story wearing a skin costume. Picture the inside of a healthy sebaceous gland. Palmitic acid arrives, manufactured upstream by the liver, delivered through circulation. Under normal conditions, it does not stay as palmitic acid. An enzyme called delta-6 desaturase converts it into a longer, more complex fatty acid called sebaleic acid, a fat found almost exclusively in human skin sebum. Sebaleic acid is your skin's frontline antimicrobial agent. Research from the University of California, San Diego, published in Science Advances in 2018, identified sebaleic acid as a direct inhibitor of Staphylococcus aureus, one of the primary bacteria responsible for inflammatory acne, at concentrations naturally present in healthy sebum. When the conversion works correctly, your sebaceous gland is simultaneously moisturizing your skin and defending it against infection. When the conversion fails, palmitic acid accumulates. The gland fills with the wrong fat. The antimicrobial defense collapses. Inflammation follows. What makes delta-6 desaturase work? The enzyme has one critical cofactor without which it cannot function: zinc. A 2020 meta-analysis in Nutrients, reviewing 18 controlled studies across 1,400 acne patients, found that serum zinc levels were significantly lower in acne patients than in healthy controls across every study in the dataset. Zinc deficiency is not a contributing factor to blackheads. It is the hinge the entire conversion mechanism swings on. No zinc, no conversion. Palmitic acid fills the pore instead. Accutane works. That is the uncomfortable truth dermatologists and patients both have to sit with. Isotretinoin produces clearance rates no topical treatment approaches. A 2014 review in the American Journal of Clinical Dermatology, analyzing 67 clinical trials, reported complete or near complete remission in over 85% of patients after a single course. The mechanism is direct. Isotretinoin binds to nuclear receptors in sebaceous gland cells, triggering a reduction in gland size of up to 90% and a simultaneous drop in sebum output. It does not fix the metabolic pathway. It dismantles the gland, producing the symptom. The side effect profile reflects exactly that level of intervention: birth defects, liver toxicity, psychiatric effects, chronic dry eye. The FDA requires monthly pregnancy tests throughout treatment. It is a powerful synthetic tool solving a metabolic problem by eliminating the tissue expressing it. Natural vitamin A operates on the same nuclear receptors through the same signaling pathway, but requires zinc to be transported, activated, and used at the cellular level. Retinol binding protein, the carrier that moves vitamin A from the liver to target tissues, is zinc dependent. Without adequate zinc, vitamin A accumulates in the liver unused, while the sebaceous gland remains starved of the regulatory signal it needs. Vitamin A without zinc is a letter with no postal service to deliver it. Excess dietary sugar is not simply a raw material problem. It is a systems-level disruptor that breaks the blackhead pathway at 4 separate points simultaneously, which is why reducing sugar produces skin changes that no targeted supplement can replicate on its own. Loop 1. De novo lipogenesis. Excess sugar drives palmitic acid overproduction in the liver, directly increasing the fat load arriving at sebaceous glands. Loop 2. Zinc depletion. Sugar metabolism consumes zinc as a cofactor at multiple enzymatic steps. A 2016 study in biological trace element research found that high dietary glycemic load was independently associated with significantly reduced serum zinc across a cohort of 300 adolescents. Loop 3. Insulin elevation. Every glucose spike triggers an insulin response. Chronically elevated insulin stimulates production of insulin-like growth factor 1, which directly upregulates androgen synthesis in the adrenal glands and ovaries. Loop 4. Androgen amplification. Elevated androgens bind to receptors in sebaceous gland cells, triggering cellular proliferation. The gland physically enlarges, produces more sebum, and creates more opportunity for pore blockage and oxidation. Each loop reinforces the others. Elevated insulin drives more androgen. More androgen enlarges the gland. A larger gland produces more sebum from the same palmitic acid oversupply. The zinc depletion ensures the conversion to sebaleic acid cannot keep pace. Sugar is not one ingredient in this problem. It is the conductor of the entire orchestra. We are halfway through, and we have not yet touched the liver condition that makes every supplement you take for your skin work at a fraction of its potential, or the reason a topical retinoid clears your skin temporarily while the dietary intervention eliminates the manufacturing process entirely. If this is reframing something you have been treating on the surface for years, subscribe. Every week we go deeper into the metabolic mechanisms behind conditions most people are managing instead of resolving. The second half is where the pathway becomes actionable. Stay with us. If excess sugar drives palmitic acid overproduction, and palmitic acid ends up in sebaceous glands producing blackheads, where does the rest of it go? The liver itself retains the majority of the palmitic acid it synthesizes when output exceeds the rate at which it can be exported into circulation as VLDL particles. When that export capacity is overwhelmed, which happens progressively as carbohydrate intake remains chronically elevated, fat begins accumulating inside hepatocytes, the liver's functional cells. This is the earliest stage of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, developing silently, without symptoms, often for years before any clinical marker appears on a standard blood panel. A 2021 study in the Journal of Hepatology, analyzing liver biopsy data from 1,800 patients with varying degrees of metabolic dysfunction, found that hepatic fat accumulation was detectable by MRI in subjects with no abnormal liver enzymes on standard testing, meaning the liver is already accumulating fat before any conventional screening would catch it. The blackhead and the fatty liver are not separate problems connected by a common cause. They are sequential expressions of the same oversaturated metabolic system, the blackhead appearing early when the liver is beginning to struggle, and the fatty liver accumulating behind it as the struggle deepens. A blackhead is not a cosmetic problem with a metabolic footnote. It is a metabolic problem with a cosmetic expression. In the early 1990s, a research team led by Mark Hellerstein at UC Berkeley set out to answer a question that nutritional biochemistry had left surprisingly unresolved. Exactly how much dietary carbohydrate does the human liver convert to fat, and how quickly? The prevailing assumption was that de novo lipogenesis was a minor pathway in humans, relevant only in extreme overfeeding scenarios. Hellerstein's findings, published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition in 1996 and replicated in multiple subsequent studies, overturned that assumption. Using stable isotope tracer methodology, feeding subjects labeled carbon atoms and tracking where they ended up, his team demonstrated that even moderate carbohydrate overfeeding, sustained over several days, produced measurable hepatic fat synthesis. The dominant fat produced was palmitic acid, not from dietary fat intake, from dietary carbohydrate. A plain bowl of white rice, a glass of orange juice, a piece of bread, each delivers glucose to the liver that, when consumed in excess of immediate glycogen storage capacity, gets converted to the same saturated fat accumulating in your sebaceous glands. The connection between a high-carbohydrate breakfast and a blackhead is not theoretical. It is a traceable carbon chain that Hellerstein's team followed atom by atom, from a glucose molecule to a fat molecule in a human liver. What you eat for breakfast does not stay at breakfast. Here is the part of the blackhead story that explains why some people eat well, take zinc, supplement with vitamin A, and still cannot clear their skin. The liver is not just the factory producing the problem fat. It is also the warehouse storing the solution vitamin, and when the liver becomes fatty, the warehouse locks its doors. The liver stores approximately 80% of the body's total vitamin A reserves, held inside specialized cells called hepatic stellate cells. Under healthy conditions, vitamin A is packaged with retinol-binding protein and released into circulation on demand. When the liver accumulates fat, hepatic stellate cells undergo activation, shifting from their storage function to a fibrogenic function, releasing their vitamin A reserves and converting them into retinyl esters that cannot be mobilized back into active circulation. A 2019 study in the Journal of Lipid Research found that hepatic stellate cell activation in early-stage fatty liver disease reduced circulating retinol levels by measurable margins even when dietary vitamin A intake was adequate, confirming that the deficiency is not in the diet, but in the liver's ability to release what it already holds. This is why supplementing vitamin A without addressing liver health produces diminishing returns. The liver is holding the vitamin hostage. Fix the factory first. The warehouse opens on its own. A topical retinoid, tretinoin, adapalene, retinol, does something real and measurable. It accelerates keratinocyte turnover in the follicle wall, preventing the cellular debris that contributes to pore blockage. A 2017 Cochrane review of topical retinoid trials across 12,000 acne patients confirmed that adapalene significantly outperformed placebo on both comedone count and inflammatory lesion count at 12 weeks. And then, for most people, it stops working as well as it did, or they stop using it and the blackheads return within weeks. Because the topical retinoid addressed the exit point of the pathway, the follicle wall, while leaving the manufacturing process running at full capacity upstream. The liver is still converting excess sugar to palmitic acid. The zinc deficiency is still blocking the sebaleic acid conversion. The insulin-androgen loop is still enlarging the sebaceous gland. The topical treatment is mopping the floor while the tap runs. Dietary intervention, reducing refined carbohydrates, restoring zinc through red meat and shellfish, supporting liver function through elimination of excess sugar and alcohol, addresses the pathway at its source. A 2012 randomized controlled trial in the Archives of Dermatology, following 43 male acne patients on a low glycemic diet for 12 weeks, found a 21.9% reduction in total lesion count compared to a 13.8% reduction in the control group without any topical treatment. The pore strip removes the receipt. The dietary shift cancels the transaction. Blackheads are not a hygiene problem or a skin type. They are a metabolic receipt printed on your face for what your liver has been processing. The palmitic acid filling your pores was synthesized upstream from dietary sugar. The enzyme that should have converted it into your skin's antimicrobial defense ran out of zinc. The vitamin A that should have regulated the oil gland is sitting locked inside a liver that has accumulated too much fat to release it. And the androgen signal enlarging the gland was amplified by the same insulin spike that started the whole sequence.